let's look at how any class at the University of Houston could use WebCT to post grades. Of course, grades are private and need to be kept very confidential. With WebCT, each student in their course has their own username and password that only they know. And so this means that you have a secure and private environment where only the student has access to their own grades. So instructors can post a quiz grade, a lab report grade, an exam grade in just a few steps. So first, in WebCT, we need to be on the Teach tab. And then we're going to click the Gradebook button. And the Gradebook is a spreadsheet that's built into WebCT. So if you're familiar with Excel, you have the fundamental ideas of what you're working with in the Gradebook. Here we have a roster of all the student names, and then you have columns that you can add for grades. To add a score, we're going to create a column for it. Create column, select a type. We need to set it to be numeric because we may want to use this grade later in a calculation. So WebCT can also calculate grades for you, which would be another recording that we can make for you. Column label, let's call this one Pop Quiz 1. And let's go ahead and put in the maximum value. Since we know that the highest they could have scored on this particular quiz was 100. It's a grade related column. We're going to go ahead and release it to the students. Click Save. And what you see is on the far right hand side of the gradebook, we see our new column that we just created called Pop Quiz 1. Now let's go ahead and start populating that column with grades. So for the first student, we're going to click the blank under Pop Quiz 1 for student 1. A text box comes up that allows us to type in the value. The top upper text box is one we're going to use. The student made 100. Click Save. And that score is populated in the gradebook column. Okay, let's do one more. Just click it. Pop-up window appears. Change the grade to a 95. Save it, and it's recorded. Now there's a little bit faster method that you could use because if you had a large number of students that would take a long time. So we'll go to the column and we'll click the little triangle or the little arrow next to it. And from the menu that pops up, we'll select Edit Values. Now this page, you'll notice, already has the first two grades that we already entered. Let me go to 100 and click. So my cursor's in there. I'm going to use a Tab key. Tab. I'm at the next grade. Tab. I'm at the first blank one. This student made an 88. Tab. This student made a 77. Tab. This student made a 95. Tab. This one made 100. So we could populate the whole column here very quickly if we already had our grades laid out next to us in alphabetical order. At the end of that, we need to find at the top or the bottom there's a button that says Save, and that populates the entire column with the grades. Now how are students going to see these grades? We're going to go to Student View, and when you're on the Student View tab, you're seeing the course exactly as a student would. The only exception is you retain the Build, Teach, and Student View tabs. The students don't have that. But everything else should be an exact match of what the students see. So the students would click on My Grades, and this instructor has already released Exam 1 and Exam 2, and there's our Pop Quiz 1 that we released. So it's very easy. And notice the student only sees their grades. They don't see anyone else's grades in the course. So again, it's private and it's secure, and it meets the standard of privacy that we have to adhere to. If you'd like more information about using WebCT, call the WebCT team at extension 31475.